My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me and that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon for my sins and for the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Jesus, we come into your presence. We give you thanks and praise. Praise you for calling us to believe in you, to know your voice, to know the change that you make in our lives. Thank you. We praise you, we adore you. So important that adoration becomes part of our prayer as Christians, as disciples of the Lord. That when we speak with you, Jesus, we want to praise you just for being you, for letting us know you. Thank you that we can share these minutes with you. Today, in my home country of Wales, is an important day. Today is the feast of Saint David, Dewi Sant in Welsh. Saint David, the patron saint of Wales, is a great model of, we could say, of taking the faith seriously, of taking the gospel seriously. So he wanted to respond very generously and very, how could we say, visibly to the gospel of Jesus Christ. So Jesus, these models that we have throughout the centuries of saints who in a visible way have said, do you know what, I'm going to let the gospel make a change in my life. And Saint David, as an example, was a monk, became a bishop in the west of Wales, and lived a very, very simple life, very austere, very disciplined, had a very strict diet, very strict a life of sacrifice, a very powerful life of prayer, and was deeply loved. He was deeply loved by the monks who wanted to surround him, wanted to join the way he was living his life and to echo it. And so he built up this monastery in southwest Wales in a place that's now called St. David's, to live intentional discipleship. This is what we could call it, maybe. St. David is an example of someone who said, I want to let the gospel change my life. I want to make decisions according to my faith in Jesus. And this is a good question for us today as we reflect on the life of St. David and of many, many, many saints. You know, we have our favourite saints, we know some of their stories, and what they all have in common is there came a moment in their lives where they had to decide for the gospel. And the same is true of you and me as we pray together. Jesus, my faith in you means that there come times in my life where I have to decide for you. And that will mean letting go of certain things in my life. It will mean basing my decisions on the part that you play in my life. Thank you that you have called me to live as your disciple. Give me the courage to make decisions according to that, and that will mean maybe changing certain things in my life, changing certain people I hang around with. Maybe it's asking you, what is it that you want from my life? You know, maybe I have my own life plan, my own ambitions, my own targets. You know, by this age I'll have this job, and by this age I'll do this, and by this age blah blah blah. Well, have I ever said to Jesus, what would you like me to do, Jesus? Have I ever asked you that question, Lord? And St. David is an example of someone who is willing to ask that question and willing to listen to the answer. Okay, it doesn't mean living in a monastery and eating very, very simple food for the rest of our life. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It does mean allowing you, Jesus, to be God in my life, allowing your word to shape me. Thank you for the example of these saints. St. David's last words to his brothers are well-known words in Wales. They've become a kind of a phrase, a maxim. He said in Welsh, "Gwnewch y pethau bychain mewn bywyd." Do the little things you've seen me do in life. do the little things. So this religious and non-religious people in Wales all know, really, they all know these words of St. David, do the little things. And it's a lovely thing that the country of Wales reflects on this day, this 1st of March, that we have this shared desire to do the little things. Okay, many people won't be saying that from a point of view of faith, but it's still a remarkable desire, remarkable legacy that St. David has left. The full sentence was, be joyful, keep the faith, and do the little things you have seen me do in life. And so it's normally just those last words, do the little things that people generally remember. But for you and me, as we pray, we can also think, be joyful. What's going on in my life today? Maybe something very sad, maybe something very difficult, maybe something very very exciting. Whatever is my norm today, the exhortation from St. David is, be joyful. Have a joy in you that comes from your faith in Jesus, your hope that the Lord is holding you. Whatever it is that's going on in my life today, the Lord is holding me. This is the reason for my joy. And my joy might not be smiling. My joy might be in tears today, depending on what's going on. But my joy is deep. My joy says, I know the Lord is with me in whatever it is I'm facing. Be joyful, says St. David. Keep the faith. Well, this is a challenge for us sometimes. And this is a bit like what we were saying a bit earlier on, to decide for the gospel, to decide to shape my life on my faith in Jesus. This is to keep the faith. Keep the faith is also my practice of the faith, my faithfulness to my prayer, getting to Mass on Sunday, getting to confession on a regular basis once a month is a good rhythm to fit into, to keep the faith, to find ways of practicing my faith in Jesus, to treat it as a muscle that needs practice, that needs strengthening, to treat it as a treasure that I would protect with my whole life. Like Jesus, you say in the gospel, the kingdom of heaven is like a pearl that a man goes and sells the whole field to buy this one pearl that he found there. He sells all he owns so he can afford to buy the field. Well, that's my faith in Jesus. My faith in Jesus is so precious that I would give everything to keep it safe and do the little things. And this has, maybe we could say, the most regular a demand on me, or it will have the most regular effect on me to keep to this practice of doing the little things well. And for us, as we are praying here to you, Jesus, we want to do the little things with love. Mother Teresa said the same, do little things with great love. You yourself in the gospel, Jesus, encourage us to pay attention to the little things. St. Josemaria Escriva, who we meditate on a lot in these meditations, one of his favourite topics was little things, paying attention to little details of life, because this is where we live or don't live our call to holiness. We don't live it on the mountains, as it were, in big things. It's in small daily decisions. I was listening to an audiobook of the Sherlock Holmes stories recently, and Sherlock, for those who don't know the stories, Sherlock is a detective in London and has this counterpart, or this friend of his, called Dr. Watson. And Dr. Watson is actually a good man, but he doesn't really get the way Sherlock thinks. So Sherlock is this incredible detective and kind of problem solver. He loves puzzles and notices things that lead him to the answer that other people don't notice. So Watson says to him on one occasion, what is it, Sherlock? What did you see about that person that made you realise they were the criminal? And Holmes says, well, did you not notice? Did you not notice his hand was looked tired? Or I'm guessing now, but did you not notice the marks around his eyes, or blah blah blah? Whatever he said fitted the particular story. And Watson says, yeah, but they're just very little things. They're of no importance. And Holmes laughs and says, Watson, little things are of infinite importance. This is true of us. Jesus, the little things that I decide in my life are of infinite importance, infinite spiritual importance, for the effect they're going to have in my coming close to you or not coming close to you. The way I look at certain people, the way I smile, the way I avert my eyes from certain things that don't do me good, the way I try to reach out to people in need, the way I try to give of something I have so I don't become attached to things, when I get up in the morning to my alarm clock so that I can begin the day with prayer, etc., etc., etc. Things that to the world go totally unnoticed, and yet to you, my Lord, are the way I show you I want to take this seriously. I want to take my discipleship of you seriously. I want to be a saint. Jesus, I want to be a saint. And a saint means somebody who, on a regular basis, is willing to make little changes to have infinite effects. Mother Mary, I ask you to look after me as I try to make these decisions in my life, just as I try to make Jesus more important in my life and the way he wants to call me to holiness. Help me to take this more seriously and to receive and respond to my call to be a great saint. I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections and inspirations that you've communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, St. Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.